Well, first of all, congratulations, Yannick.
Thank you so much, James, and thank you for having me.
And well, I actually spent some time in Switzerland. I lived there about 20 years ago for a year. I had a Swiss
Really?
boyfriend for about 3.5
Where?
years. So yeah, in Biel.
In Biel.
Yes.
Okay, yes, of course, yes.
But I worked in Zurich. So I
Okay.
know from living there, and it's something that you touched on in the show as well. But it's such an ordered country, which can be wonderful. But you know, to what extent is your work kind of a reaction to some of that order?
Yeah, it's like in Switzerland, it's hard to be honest. Like everybody's like asking who is supposed to wear that and for what. And I have the feeling like in other bigger cities like New York, London, or Rio or Tokyo, people are not raising that question. For them, it's clear like people can wear that. But yeah, but Switzerland has their own little order and their boxing thinking. But sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's annoying.
And how did you come to design genderless clothes, and what excites you about that aspect of your work?
Well, I really want to include all gender in what I'm doing, and I think it's really annoying and sad that we have the idea that certain fabrics or certain silhouette pieces are made for one gender. I think that kind of thinking is very old-fashioned, and we should really go away from that. Like everybody can wear a skirt and everybody can wear pants. We're not in the 1920s anymore. Like just open up the mind, and people should feel comfortable in what they're wearing, what's right for them, and they shouldn't be afraid of wearing something because of society or other people. And I really want to push that boundary further.
And we saw you wear quite a lot of, I mean, your own creations, and you know, what I don't know, freedom do you get out of wearing genderless clothes yourself, or you know, what does it mean for you personally to, you know, not have some of those restrictions that you were talking about?
I think, you know, like if people would actually try out, and especially men would try out to wear skirts and dresses, they would realize how comfortable it is, and how nice it can be, or flattering, you know, like as long as you don't try out, you don't know what's right for you. And I want to motivate people to try out, and it gives really like a freedom to yourself, not have to think what others think. Like make yourself happy first, and then you're going to convince others as well.
Yes, absolutely. It's a good philosophy, I think. So when it came to making the cut, why was it something that you wanted to be involved in, and were there particular areas of your work that you wanted to challenge yourself with, or you know, challenge yourself personally?
First of all, I did not know the show, to be honest, so I had to do my research to get to know everything. I had the feeling that it's very focused and based on a business, on something real, not to make like fun about the people who are there. You know, some other reality show are more about just entertaining people and not really about something else. And this reality show is actually to build up a business, and I think it's very serious in that aspect. It has to be. I think, you know, like they're giving away $1 million. You don't make a joke out of that. And yeah, and the hardest thing was for sure the time restrictions we had, but it was also like the one thing that helped me to grow as a designer. It's like to make fast decisions, to trust your intuition, and yeah, to be on point when you have to be on point.
Yes, the time constraints definitely add some of the drama as a viewer. It makes it quite stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful for us, believe me.
It was more stressful for you guys as well. Yeah. And yeah, how would you kind of describe your experience of being on the show, and you know, maybe what you got out of it personally in terms of it affecting your own creative process?
It was really one of the greatest experience I ever did. I'm really grateful for that. Like to have like 2 months being focused only on the creative side of your business. You know, like when you have the business back, you have your emails, you have your appointments, you have your phone calls, you have so a lot of distraction, so much organization, and then you come there and everything is organized for you, and you just can be creative and just do what you love to do the most for like all day. And that was really, really amazing as well. You know, the translation we had to do from the runway looks into accessible looks, like this helps one to grow as designers as well, especially designers like me who never thought about the aspect, or not too much about the aspect of being accessible, because I did custom made pieces. So I just had to please one person, or, you know, the one buyer, and now I have to please a bigger crowd. And I think going through that process of having to show accessible looks, I can also create a collection that at the end is accessible for a bigger crowd. Perhaps not as accessible as other brands, it still is in the core very me, but it's more accessible than it would be perhaps if I would have done it 1 year ago.
And which look or which week were you sort of proudest of your work on the show, looking back over the season?
I think for me, it was the winter assignment. I really loved my runway look for winter assignment. It was 100% me. I felt super confident with that. And the final runway, I really had some pieces I'm really happy and proud of.
Yeah, what did you want to say about your work with that final, with those 10 pieces in the final week?
Yeah, we had very short amount of time to do the other assignments. So now we have like 3.5, almost 4 weeks time to do a collection. So I really wanted to showcase also the tailoring and construction and those aspects which we didn't have time before to showcase, like I can do that as well and actually love to do that as well. And I wanted to show that. I narrowed it down to have like one piece per person, but that showcased in a way that you can see that a lot of love was pushed into it. I'm really happy I did that.
And you were such a talented group, and it was fun to see like how well you got on, and that you're inspired by each other. And you know, the group assignment, the funeral idea, which was yours, which was a brilliant idea. Really kind of showed that, I think, didn't it? What was that experience like, kind of getting to, you know, be around so many other designers for that very intense period, as you said?
It was very amazing. Like the other designers were really kind, nice, and super talented person. We are still in contact every day. We have a group chat on Instagram. We're texting each other, and they're also going to watch my show, which is in 1 week here in New York City. Yeah, we got really close. We had always that direct feedback when we designed, when we were unsure and Tim was not in the room. We could also ask each other, and we did, and we really grow like a little kind, cute family.
And you know, you had all the judges' support, really, and it was a unanimous decision in the end. But Jeremy was a particular champion, I think, of your work, and very passionate about it. What did it mean to have him be so passionate about your work?
Well, I knew, especially from, you know, like when the viewers saw episode 5, some of them got super emotional and also angry. But for me, it just showcased that someone actually really cares and really wants to push me. And he did. And at the end of the day, also, if you watch season 1 and season 2, Jeremy was always for the most artistic one, not the most normcore one. And so I felt his, yes, I felt that he wants and that he wants to push me there. And this was really great to know. Like I felt very comfortable with the whole judges. Like I felt understood, and this is not something that happened very often with the kind of fashion I do. So I really enjoy that. Yes. I mean, I think the first season, I mean, our favorite, I think, was Sander, and we spoke to Sander, and then last season we spoke to Gary, and this season we're very excited to be to you, Yannik. And I think I've got probably similar taste to Jeremy. I did get to speak to him those were my favorites too. Sander in the first and Gary in the second. Yes.
And I think it's fair to say that, you know, this season that, you know, Amazon has probably gone with someone, that's maybe a little, I don't know, let's, we'll be diplomatic, but the way you described it was better. The people who are a little bit more artistic and out there that Jeremy chimes with has won this year, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think so too. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, but yeah, sometimes it's good to try new things, and perhaps I'm their new thing. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
I'm sure it's all sorts of things as you go about, you know, walking around the world. But what kind of things tend to inspire you the most?
It's always social political issues. Like that's always a core in my collection. Like if I get bothered by something in society, that pushes me to translate that into fashion and to have a way to talk about it and reach a broader audience.
And I loved it on the show when you were talking about sustainability, because I personally didn't know too much about I knew it was an issue, but didn't know too much about the potential solutions. So why is that something that's particularly important to you and to your brand?
Because nowadays there is so a lot of which you can do change, and you can do differently than like 50 years ago. And there's still so a lot of designers who do not question that. And I really want, like, I want to infect other designers to start thinking the same way I do, not design wise, but when it goes to sustainability, like to choose the fabrics which are, you know, like not bad for the environment. Like there is not a solution for everything at the moment, but it's developing so fast, all the fabrics, trims and everything, that you have options to do things better than before. And I just want to push and infect other designers to think the same way, to do their research.
Yes, absolutely. And when it comes to other designers, either people living or dead, whose work are you most kind of inspired by, not necessarily directly influenced by, but, you know, that makes you sort of excited to see?
I think it's Marta Margiela and Ray Kawakubo. Not in the sustainable aspect, but like in the creative aspect, the way of thinking and translating it into, I think Marta did as well a lot of issues and took the norm and broke the norm by doing something completely different and unexpected. Like his first collection in Paris, like was ripped apart by all journalists. Everybody hated it. I love that. Like, you know, like to have, I don't know, like to have the power or to stand so much for what you believe in and still showcasing it, even with the risk, everybody's gonna hate it.
And now that you have this new platform as the winner of Making Cut season 3, is there a celebrity or someone in the public eye who you'd really like to discuss designing something for, and maybe do you have a particular occasion in mind?
Well, I would love to do something for Lil Nas X. I would be very honored if someone could dress him.
Yes. That's
my goal.
Choice.
That's my next goal.
And so one final question for you, and it's for your favorite piece of LGBTQ plus culture. So it could be a movie, TV series, play, a book, some piece of culture, or a person who identifies as LGBTQ plus. So someone or something that's had an impact on you and resonated with you over the years.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of pop icons that come now up to my mind when I think, like, I don't know, like.
Or was there anything that you encountered that made you feel kind of better about your own sexuality, perhaps when you were younger? You know, you saw a show, or that might not help you to throw that at you as well, but just I know it's a big question.
I think that's a question I need to think longer about it. Yeah, I think I felt off because I grew up on the countryside and a really small village, and I felt like I have no one to look up to really, but when I think of recent or like recent events, I would also say Lil Nas X. I think what he is doing is also pushing very much the envelope, and it's helping the queer community and it's helping the Black community. Yeah, that's why I think he's also a very authentic, lovely person. Without that I know him, but what I feel, and I think, yeah, people who like doing something that's out of the norm, but they're doing with a purpose, and with a purpose to change something.
Yes, exactly. No, I think that very much comes through. He comes across as very warm, doesn't he? I haven't actually met him, but also that he is, as you say, trying to like shake something up. Not just trying to like land on the front pages by wearing something fabulous, but actually do something meaningful with it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, Yannik, congratulations again. Thanks so much for doing this, and delight to meet you.
Thank you, James, for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.